missing something. Welcome, Angry Faithful, to the Friday What the Hell episode where we talk political banter and stuff that happened during the week that everybody's talking about, including us, apparently. One of the big things, Bill, we basically get to do what we want in Greenland now, huh?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not until the
and you know what?
fully done.
We can't now.
Go ahead. No. You're the somewhat expert on it.
Yeah. Under every YouTube video, every Facebook video post that's talking about Greenland, they're like little parrots. The liberals are like little parrots. Ooh, we could do anything we want already under the 1951 agreement. Ooh, we could have all the bases we want. And then the latest one is, yeah, all Trump is doing is create an agreement that's exactly like 1951, and then he's going to say it's his. No, we can't. In addition to the 1951 agreement, there was an amendment in 2004. The amendment in 2004 limits us to one base without all kinds of additional approvals. And then in 2009, they had a self-government act that kind of began to give them a little independence from Denmark, but not quite. It gave them, and that added to the 1951 agreement also. Between the two of them, we can't do dick without their approval. Lots of approvals. And I'll just go into some of them. I'll go into some of them and then go into how they'll slow it down. I'm going to be reading some of this because I've got like 60 pages of details, and I'm not going to read 60 pages, but I'm going to look for the summaries. And my question was, would the 2004 amendment require additional approvals? Yes, it introduced several new layers of consultation, environmental oversight, and local approvals. So to do anything in Greenland, it would require mandatory consultation. The U.S. is now explicitly required to consult with and inform both Danish and Greenlandic governments before making any significant changes. An environmental subcommittee, they actually have a party that's the environmental party over there. Oh. So you have to have an environmental subcommittee that was established to regularly address pollution and nature. It wasn't formally managed in the 1951 pact. Let me skip down to the actual approvals that would be required. This is if we wanted to expand our base, put a new base in, or a strategic outpost that would be for like missile defense batteries. And I've got details into the Golden Dome, how it will defend against missiles, drones, underwater threats. It's multiple layered. Imagine, on an aside, that Elon already had a contract signed and funded by Biden administration for this, thought up under Trump, signed by Biden. So when they say, oh, conservative Trump, no, the beginning of this, and what it's going to require is a minimum of 400 satellites. Right now, it looks like a constellation of 600, possibly up to 12,000 satellites. Yeah, pretty awesome. But anyway, while the original 1951 agreement granted U.S. broad authority to operate and establish defense areas, the 2004 update added specific hurdles. Mandatory consult and inform process. The 2004 agreement requires the U.S. to consult with and inform both Danish and Greenlandic governments prior to any significant changes to military facilities. dual approval requirement. Due to Greenland's 2009 Self-Government Act, any new military bases or major expansions now require explicit consent of both Denmark and Greenland. Navigating two sets of national interest and legal systems is inherently slower than the previous bilateral process. Environmental vetting, 2004 Joint Declaration on Cooperation on the Environment, mandates that U.S. operations are more protective of either U.S. or Greenlandic environmental standards. So you'll have lengthy committee studies on that if they want to do anything major. That 2004 framework formally recognizes Greenland's authorities as stakeholders, opens projects up to local political debate.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying, if we do anything, we have to do like environmental studies and everything when we get it done, right?
Environmental studies, then local debates. Economic negotiation. Unlike the 1951, where the base was rent-free, current expansions involve economic and technical partnerships negotiating over local employment, infrastructure investment, and maintenance contracts before a construction begins. So cut the fuck out with we could do anything we want. And I came up with, I threw this into AI and I said, what would be the possible required timelines for this? And here it said the complex layers of trilateral consultation and environmental review mean major projects can take years to move from proposal to construction. Based on the framework, and this isn't Trump's new framework, this is the framework of the current deal that we are under. It typically breaks down as follows. Pre-permit negotiations, 6 months to 2 years. Unlike the 51 era, where the U.S. could act semi-unilaterally, the 2004 agreement requires the U.S. to consult and inform Denmark and Greenland. Recent diplomatic disputes, such as those over base maintenance contracts, took nearly 6 years of protracted trials and strenuous diplomatic negotiations. 6 years, base maintenance contracts. Environmental review, standard review. A federal environmental assessment for similar projects average 14 months. Complex projects, large-scale infrastructure often requires more rigorous environmental impact statements, which average 4.5 years. Greenland specifics, the current framework requires adherence to the more protective of either U.S. or Greenlandic standards, which can add time if local Greenlandic authorities require additional site-specific data on fragile Arctic ecosystems. I don't know, some little bitty cold bug or something. One more, the dual consent hurdle. Because of Greenland's 2009 Self-Government Act, any expansion that falls outside of existing defense areas effectively requires two separate national approvals. If both parties are aligned, this can be handled by the U.S. Greenland Joint Committee, which typically meets once or twice a year. So, yeah,
there's a lot of hurdles just to get the Golden Dome.
That's what all of this is initially for. It's the Golden Dome.
Yeah,
and there's two I had came up with. And I may have mentioned it last week, the COFA, Compact of Free Association. Did I mention that?
Not in it yet.
Well, there's a second one that I heard that they're considering. I had mentioned for about 3 weeks, I've been putting posts out on that as a framework. It's the same deal we have with the Marshall Islands. They have independence. They're an independent entity. We have the rights to basically do anything militarily that we want in the Marshall Islands. But you heard someone said something about that we would get chunks of land. You may have people probably heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, Trump came back and said no, but on the news today that the chunks of land is called a sovereign base area. And
Yeah.
it's like an agreement that the UK has with Cyprus.
Okay.
And we could locally compare, we could locally make an example of that. Shepherd Air Force Base, do you realize what most of Shepherd is? The land? Who owns it?
No.
When a
It's fed-
base, in general, they want to put a base there, that piece of land actually secedes from the state.
yeah, it's federal property. It's the reason why I can't bring a firearm onto that base because it's considered federal property.
But on the base, you will notice that there are also Wichita Falls police.
They are allowed. Okay, Wichita Falls police are allowed onto that base depending on
The area.
uh not area, depending on one it is a little bit in the area, and two if local police are needed for an investigation.
Well, not all of that base is federal. Not all of that base seceded from the state. They did an expansion of the runway. And when they expanded the runway, they didn't do the secession, they did a 99-year lease. So
Mm.
part of the base falls under state regulations, not federal. So actually, if you work in that location, Texas right to work law applies to you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's how I fought. I fought the union based on that because I had a friend who was a military police when I worked on the flight line, and I saw the Wichita police out there, and I asked him, I said, "What is the deal with that?" And he says, "Here," and he pulls out this little map he carried with him, and it was a map showing the locations of the base that were on the lease and the part that was actually owned by the government.
Oh, nice.
And then when I started talking about fighting the union, he went, "Oh, they took all those maps from us. I can't show you those anymore." So I went down to the plat office I was going to try to figure out how to use the plat things where you pull out the big drop down of the land. And I said, "Yeah, I've never been here before. I'm doing this, and yeah, I need to learn this." "Oh, okay. Let me show." "Yeah, I'm trying to fight a union." "Figure it out yourself." They walked out and closed the door.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's the state of unions. But that's the same concept of what Cyprus had done with the British. The British took pieces of the land for themselves. But in the interview with the current head of Greenland yesterday, he said no one's going to take chunks of our land. So while on the news today, one of the analysts said, "Yeah, they're looking at that agreement." No. And the compact of free association would be better for Greenland, but pisses off Denmark because it cuts them out.
Hmm. Okay, so the whole deal is Denmark has to keep paying the population of Greenland $600 million per year. U.S. gets sovereignty over whichever part we want for U.S. Military base. USA gets mineral rights. China and Russia are not allowed in Greenland, and the total cost is zero. So, also, this hit today. Japanese Prime Minister Shinei Takashi just dissolved the House of Representatives, triggering a snap February election. Her party is posed to gain massive control. This is a bold power move. Japanese shifting hard to the right. So that will be interesting. It won't happen until like February, so we'll just keep you updated on that. I find that
Snap,
kind of interesting news.
snap elections are interesting.
Yes, very much so.
You know, it's not like, okay, a country has 2-year, 4-year like we do. A country can go, the leader can go, let's have a new election. And why is Carney being such a bastard to Trump?
I don't know.
Carney is being a bastard to Trump. He's been trying to get complete power in Canada, and they have been his party as liberals have been coaxing conservatives over to cross the line and change to liberal. And that's pissing off a lot of people. He's only a couple of seats away. The one thing that riles the Canadians up is it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. Trump's doing it. So my theory on this is he did his little stunt with Trump, little globalist Carney. He did his little stunt, and he's going to come back and he's going to go, look at evil orange man. Let's call a snap election. So he gets his base pre-riled, then calls the election, knowing his base is already riled. Then he could get he could get his voters out and take complete control of Canada. That's what's behind him. And it's like they blame everything on Trump. Their environmental green crap. They had they just laid off a bunch of people from an aluminum steel factory. What they did was they had to upgrade their furnaces to arc electric furnaces from gas furnaces. Well, they had to do that for the carbon-based adjustment mechanism that I think I've mentioned. I won't go into it, be very detailed, but basically it's why we need to stop buying products from Europe. They are not our friends, and from Canada, because they're going to screw us with, oh no, it's Trump's tariffs. No, it's their environmental shit increasing our costs. But they installed this furnace. It caused them to fire a lot of people. Carney comes out and the rest of the liberal Canadian media. Oh, look what mean old Trump did, pulling the business from aluminum and steel from us. Well, the only thing is, about a year and a half ago, the damn company already said the number of people they were going to have to lay off due to this environmental upgrade.
Yeah.
So it was already there. It has not a damn thing to do with Trump. It is strictly their environmentalist green crap, which Greenland, I don't know, Greenland, eco-fascist Greenland, whatever. They are so filled with radical environmentalists that stop the 51st state shit. We do not want 2 permanent eco-fascist senators. That would be there. It would be like California on steroids.
Yeah. Here's another thing I found out this week too. While we don't mine minerals in our own state most of the time, and this is a business a thing, because it's more effective and makes us more money by refining it and producing it than actually mining it ourselves and doing it that way. I read that on our on a Robin Hood thing. Reason why we're getting Greenland and we're trying to get their rare earth minerals.
Well, the rare earth minerals, one of the reasons we're trying to get that is right of first refusal. So we control who might even be able to mine there. We would control that right. And one of the things of right of first refusal, it's a key mechanism of the Compact of Free Association for, like I said, blocking Chinese access to the, I'm not going to pronounce the word, Kavanagh Field or something project that they were already working on, but also processing chains. The U.S. is pushing for a vertically integrated supply chain where Greenlandic ore is sent to U.S.-based facilities for refining, such as the planned facility in Louisiana.
Mm.
So we need to start the processing here. The stupid environmentalists who go, oh, it's so environmentally friendly. Look at some pictures of how it's processed. Look at the procedure of how it's processed. China doesn't give one crap about the environment. So you're totally ignoring that entire process and what it's doing for the environment.
Did you check and see what happened with France? They got.
You mean are you talking about the guy with the Macron where the blood vessel burst in his eye?
No, they.
Oh.
That one's new. No.
You saw that, right?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see Trump laugh about it, and he made a joke about it in his speech.
No. What I was talking about,
Macron was wearing blue aviator glasses while he was speaking.
Oh. No, I was talking about how France took over a oil tanker through legal means. It was basically oh man, my eyes are itching right now. Sorry, folks. Basically what had happened is oil tanker was flying over with another flag, and it was a Russian oil tanker. So
an oil tanker was flying over? Wow. Is that like is that like Avengers? You know, got the oh, whoops. My mind's going. Williams humor segment.
Yes. No, it was going
really fast.
Yes,
it was flying.
Going really fast. But anyways, it was going through, and France found out about it, and they basically took it over, and they're probably going to sell the oil. So, but when U.S. does it, it's bad. But when other countries do it, like, oh, we're just doing our job.
Where was it from?
Russia.
Well, was it like the last one or most recent that was a Venezuelan tanker that threw a Russian flag on it?
Mm-mm.
Where was it from? Was it going to Russia or?
Hold on. Let me pull up the full article. It was Mediterranean cells. So the cells were from okay. France Navy intercepts an oil tanker in the Mediterranean sailing from Russia. France Navy worked with intelligence provided by the United Kingdom on Thursday, intercepting an oil tanker in the Mediterranean Sea that was traveling from Russia. Its mission target, the sanctioned Russian Shadow Fleet, official says. French maritime authorities from Mediterranean said the ship, the Grinch, that's literally the name of the ship, is suspected operating with a false flag. The French Navy is escorting the ship to anchor for more checks. The statement says the tanker departed from the city of Murmansk in northern Russia, it said, and oil revenue is a key part of Russian economy, allowing President Vladimir can't say his freaking name. Say it, Bill, for me. Putin. To pour money into the war effort against Ukraine without worsening inflation for everyday people and avoiding a currency collapse. France and other countries have vowed to crack down on the sanction-busting shadow fleet of oil tankers, which experts estimate numbers over 400 ships. They are also trying to secure deals with flag-carrying countries to make it easier to board the vessel. Russia is using what is described as a shadow fleet. We talked about this last week. We determined to uphold international law and to ensure effective enforcement of sanctions. French President what's his name?
Macron.
Macron.
Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah. Said it is a post about the interception with a photo showing a French helicopter hovering over the ship. I'm surprised they didn't see the ship and just run away. I mean,
France.
Yeah, it is France. Anyways, now next week we're going to go on more detail on this, but we're going to do a little thought provocation on this. What is your thoughts on the Board of Peace and getting rid of the UN? Bill?
Oh, you're directing that to me. I thought you were directing that to our vast audience, wanting some input. Hey guys, come on, input.
Well, the people that are listening to
us, it made the first thing it made me think of is in Independence Day.
Really?
I don't know why that flashed into my head when he looks at the alien and he's about to launch the missile and they're caught. They think they're going to die and he launches it and Will Smith goes, "Peace." I heard Board of Peace and it made me want to watch Independence Day.
Really?
Yeah, it did. And no, it wasn't some last minute deal cooked up by Trump. It was in the 20-point peace plan with Gaza that 35 nations signed onto. So it was there. It wasn't anything new.
I was wondering why most of the people that are on that board were around Middle Eastern areas. I really did. I was like, man, he got all those Middle Eastern people to. It was just that was my main thought on that was he got a lot of Middle Eastern people that usually don't talk to each other all too well. I guess it's a start.
Part of his Abraham Accords. And and that kind of led up to him being able to do the Gaza peace deal. But one of the things that it does is Trump is going to pocket the money and build a new casino on Greenland. Oh, no. There's a lot of approvals. It's going to go into a bank and it's going to require a lot of approvals and there's a lot of audits. And
that's a little bit further down. This is the casino on the Gaza Strip.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. But I don't know. I wonder if he's going to use the board of. Is he going to use the Board of Peace money for it? So he doesn't even have to.
I don't. We say this now. Then someone watches this episode and gets to this part, or it gets clipped in, and I make the clip and I put it up. And people start believing that bullshit. And I was like, Trump's making a casino on the Gaza Strip, and he's using money from the Board of Peace.
Oh, the algorithm's gonna. Oh man, I'm almost laughing myself into passing out.
Dude,
that's gonna be an auto clip.
I'm going to your house after this, and I'm like, you did this. You did this.
You better preview the auto clips.
That'd be so hilarious.
Golden Dome? No, for the Golden High Rollers.
Yeah. Which I
But
wouldn't mind.
anyway, the money is going to be used for the first usage of the money. Now, it's not going to be all used for it. It's going to be for the reconstruction of Gaza. And that way you won't have to pull as much money from the American taxpayers for the rebuild Gaza effort.
Which that place is needing it really bad. But here's another thing that happened because Russia was invited for it. And this is what Vladimir Putin has to say about it.
We could contribute $1 billion to the board of peace from the frozen assets assets frozen by the previous administration, and the remaining funds from the funds frozen in the United States could be used to rebuild territories that suffered during hostilities. Once we sign a peace deal between Russia, we could.
So basically, he's wanting to use the frozen assets, which
Ursula von der Leyen probably shit her pants on that one.
a lot of countries probably did that because
she's the head of the EU, and she's the one that directed them setting it up where they. I think we've gone into it before, but I'll refresh people's memories.
It was either last week, or the week before that, and we got to hurry up. We only got like 9 minutes for this episode. But yeah, they already spent that money, didn't they?
No,
they
spent the interest on it. What they did was they had their banking system take out loans backed by the money that they don't have access to.
Oh,
they because of the EU charter and all of that, and no one would trust them. They couldn't just spend the money. So, but they needed money to fund their garbage because they can't. They got to keep fighting. The war can't end. Now, if the war ends and he gets the money back, their whole banking system collapses. Businesses aren't going to trust him. They're going to leave Europe because they've borrowed money again, big sums of money against something that they don't have the rights to.
See, what they now, this is just me thinking I'm not an economist, I'm not anything like that. What they should have done is put into an account where it gets like a whole crap load of interest, which they did. Okay.
Yeah. And they're confiscating and spending the interest.
That is the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Is
spend in their technicality, they're like, okay, we don't have the rights to the root amount, but hey, we'll put it somewhere to make interest, and we can take the interest by our charter. That's not taking someone's money, just spending the interest. So they were fine with that. It's this latest crap that they did recently where they took the big loan backed by it. And then after the loan backed by it, Trump came out. In fact, this is how it came out that they had done that. Trump said, we need to make a deal with Ukraine, and part of the deal should be Putin gets his money back. It's because Trump knew what they had just done.
Yeah.
And he highlighted it with that so they would go, oh, shit.
We're going to probably end up having to. I know we're already at a economic war right now. I mean, as soon as Trump went into office, he went all ham with it, which some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. It's just I'm not fully. I know what's happening, like with the whole Greenland thing. He was screaming out, "I'm going to take it. We're getting Greenland no matter what." And we're doing XYZ. I know it was a front. That's what he does. He'll say something like that. And then when it comes out, they're like, hey, listen, we realize that you want to do XYZ. let's make a deal where you don't go in and cause casualties, which we weren't going to cause casualties anyways.
I'm not
Is it-
taking it off the table does not mean I'm going to attack.
Yeah.
He doesn't take anything off the table to negotiate. Leaves it all out there. Why get the, well, you said this and you said this. No, I didn't, because I didn't take anything off the table. We're negotiating.
Yeah. But it's just, in my opinion, though, I'm surprised they keep up with doing the same deals with them. That's one thing that just baffles me a little bit, because you can
Which
see
deals?
most of the deals that we've done so far. I mean, we pushed up stuff like to the 10th degree with like tariffs and everything, and then everybody backs down. I'm like, y'all do realize, I mean, he does do it. It was like, okay, you're gonna get these tariffs. Oh, you're working out with us now. Okay. Well,
Yeah. Oh, taco. The latest thing is like, he backed down from saying he's going to attack Greenland. What? The liberals wanted him to attack Greenland now so they could say he didn't back down?
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't attack Greenland, then that means he's backing down and he's a taco.
Yeah, it's like
he never intended fucking morons.
Well, right now, the newest thing right now is everybody's screaming for help with Iran and everything. I think the aircraft carriers didn't make it as fast as they think it should have, because they were prepared like, I think, last week, but they're still doing some extra stuff. But
they had those hover carriers we were talking about, like from the Avengers, and they could have made it. Or do we have those?
We don't have
in
those.
Your vast military background. Have you been on like conspiracy sites and seen any glimpse of that? Do we have those? Probably not.
We would have you. Actually, they wouldn't be at like area. They're not at Area 51. I know that much.
Well, Stargate was buried in the Arctic, in Antarctica. So we just pulled away from Antarctica. Did we pull away because we've got something there and we don't want people to know we're actually still there?
No, the original Stargate was in the desert in Egypt.
Yeah, I mean the second,
and we had that since 1947. Right? No,
we needed the second gate though.
Yeah, because we got our first gate stolen.
Oh, one other point I had made last week about Murkowski undermining Trump by going over there at the same time Vance and Rubio was having the meeting with Danish and Greenland diplomats. She went over and had meetings, or she had the same meeting in the same area with the actual president of Greenland and Denmark, the premier or whatever. And then she flew to Copenhagen basically to meet with NATO and undermine Trump. Well, I had to plug in, okay, what did he do now? Trump met with NATO at Davos. And NATO is going, Ruth, the head of NATO, is going, yeah, we need to back Trump in this Greenland thing. So I threw out a question. Let's see. Murkowski went to Copenhagen to undermine Trump's. I had been saying she was undermining his authority and all that. That would be the what is it called? Logan Act. Does it counter what Murkowski did? Is everything with him meeting with the NATO generals? Did it completely counteract them? And this is what I got. Murkowski's trip to Copenhagen was designed to reassure the Danes, the adults in the room, the Senate would protect them. However, Trump's meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte changed the math. The military realism. Once NATO generals saw the specs of the Golden Dome and Star Shield integration, they realized this isn't just a real estate whim. It's the only technical answer to Russia's Oreshnik and S-500 systems. The result, by getting the NATO working group established, so he has established a working group, it has moved Greenland from a State Department issue, a State Department diplomatic issue where Murkowski has influence, to a NATO theater requirement where Pentagon and generals have the say.
I don't know if that's a good idea, though, with NATO.
It's much harder for a senator to undermine a plan that the Supreme Allied Commander for your, well, you got to look at, there's more going on with NATO than most people realize. We already have operations with NATO, with Greenland, and different components that are going to be the Golden Dome. We already have them going on. They're just not in the news. So there's a lot of NATO integration that when I dug into it, it went, oh shit, this is all going to be pieced together. We're even already working with Danish companies on components of the Golden Dome. Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. And for homework for next week, people should look up Brilliant Pebbles.
Brilliant Pebbles. Okay.
Brilliant Pebbles.
Well, Bill,
you're welcome.
Until next week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Love you guys. Hope to see, listen, show up next week. Just show up.
Yeah. And when you do show up, comment, people. We're looking. We're seeing. We'll react.
Yeah.
We'll react if it's positive. We'll react if it's bullshit.
And we get a lot of that. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Love you guys. Later.
Peace.